Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson, and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for skillofattraction.com. And today's attraction tips video is called 7 Ways You're Too Available with Women. Now, I've talked about this in the past, how being too available to women will actually lower her attraction for you. In fact, if you're always available to her, she will eventually lose all interest in you. And this could be really difficult sometimes when you have a very high level of attraction for her. I mean, I get it. She's hot. She's a lot of fun. You have a lot in common. And the sex is fantastic. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be making yourself available for that? Especially when she is clearing her own schedule just to see or talk to you as much as she can. The thing is, when you're too available to her, you're actually sending her a subtle message. And a lot of guys don't even really realize that they're too available. And when that happens, then she suddenly becomes a lot less available than she was before, leaving a lot of men very confused, wondering what the hell just happened. So in this attraction tips video, I'm going to be discussing the 7 most common ways that many men show women that they're overly available, ultimately ruining her attraction for them. But if you guys need my help personally and you have some issues in your relationship where you want to really dive deep and you need my advice, the best way to do that is to head over to my website at skillofattraction.com, click on the coaching tab, and there you'll see I have several options for you to choose from. I offer emergency email coaching that includes a response from me on weekends and holidays, and I also offer bi-weekly and monthly email coaching where I will work with you throughout that time period. Additionally, I offer phone coaching for my US clients. Now, if you're outside of the US, I will have something for you guys in terms of phone or Skype coaching sometime in the future, but for right now, email coaching is the way to go. And I'll post a link to both my contact page and my coaching page in the description down below. Now, one thing that you really need to understand what you're communicating to women when you're always so available. I mean, not only does it show her that you have nothing going on in your life besides her, but it also tells her that she has you and you put her above all else. In either case, the message that she's receiving from you is that you're a low-value man, and women only want high-value men. A man that she has to work for and earn his heart. And by always being so available to her, she really doesn't have to put in much effort at all. Now, probably the most common way that men come across as being too available is by dropping everything in order to answer her phone calls or to respond to her text messages. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't answer her call or respond to her text messages, but if you're busy with something, she could wait. And if you have absolutely nothing going on where you are always available to pick up the phone or to respond to her text, it really can't hurt to take your time responding once in a while. I'm not suggesting that you should be playing games because it really is best that you do have some important things going on in your life. But if you don't, it's really best that you give her that impression until you do have some important things going on. Now, another way that men are coming across as being too available is when you initiate texts or phone calls too often. I mean, you shouldn't be texting or talking on the phone too much anyway. But when you're doing a majority of the initiating, you're actually killing the mystery for her. Of course, there's nothing wrong with you reaching out to her once in a while, but you really want her to be doing a majority of the initiating. This will really give her a sense of investing into you. And the more she invests into you, the more she becomes attached, because in her mind, you must be a high-value man if she's investing so much into you. Now, something that I used to do quite a bit when I was younger was I would cancel plans with my friends or my family simply because she wanted to do something or she invited me somewhere. I mean, if that's not making yourself overly available and putting her up on a pedestal, I don't know what is. If you already have plans, do not cancel them to be with her. Simply make plans with her for another time. And handling it this way really will make you more attractive to her. And that brings me to another way that men make themselves too available to women, and that is by never committing to plans with others just in case your girl suddenly becomes available. You want to commit to the plans that you want to be a part of, whether your girl is available or not. I mean, invite her along. And if she can't make it or she doesn't want to go, then she's going to be the one missing out. You always want to give the impression that you're moving forward with or without her. I mean, you would like her to join you, but if she can't or won't come along, then you're not going to stop simply just for her. Now, if you're always spending time with her, then you're clearly also way too available to her. Now, it doesn't matter if you're just dating, you're in a long-term relationship, or you're married. You must have a life independent from the relationship. So many people get this idea in their head that just because they're a couple that they must do everything together. But you need to have lives that are separate from each other once in a while. And what I mean by this is that you want to have activities that you enjoy that does not involve her. I mean, this could be, poker or shooting hoops with the boys, jamming in a band, or maybe even taking a class of something that interests you. Not only is it good for you, but it creates a little mystery, it gives you something to talk about, and it puts some much needed space in between you two. I've said this before, attraction actually grows in space. Now, sometimes your over availability is very subtle, but she's still going to pick up on it if you tolerate her rescheduling plans at the last minute. However, it's rare. I mean, maybe her mother was suddenly taken to the hospital, or the babysitter canceled at the last minute. I mean, or something similar to that. I mean, in cases like that, that's something that you could let slide, where you are actually open to rescheduling. But if it's something where she's making you a low priority, or she's just being plain rude, I mean, you want to counter that with, number one, you want to call her out on that. But at the same time, you want to make yourself unavailable for a little while. I mean, obviously, you can't force her to keep plans if she doesn't want to do it, but many men will make themselves available as a second choice or a backup option in case she has nothing better to do. While that is a very subtle way of showing that you're too available, a not so subtle way is when you actually tell her that you have nothing going on and your schedule is wide open. I mean, sometimes it's inevitable to have a clear schedule, but you want to do your best to try to stay busy with productive activities and that of which brings you passion and joy. And sometimes you just have to act like you have at least tentative or potential plans. I mean, as an example, if she says, well, what do you have going on this weekend? You could respond with something like, well, I'm not 100% sure yet. I may call so-and-so and we may go out. I mean, at least this way, you're not really saying that you have nothing going on, but you're not really lying that you have something going on either. So to recap here, I'm going to read off the list. Number one, you don't want to be so quick or drop everything you're doing to answer her calls or respond to her texts. Number two, you want to let her initiate contact with you most of the time, as long as you're arranging dates, of course. Number three, you don't want to cancel plans with friends or family to make time for her. Number four, you don't want to leave your plans open-ended with others in order to be available for her. Number five, be sure that you have a life and activities that's independent of the relationship. Number six, you don't want to tolerate last-minute rescheduling of plans by her. And finally, number seven, you don't want to announce that you have absolutely nothing going on in your life besides her. So if you guys have found this video helpful, or any of my videos helpful, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and for you to share it with any of your friends and family. And I would also really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol next to it so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. And in the description down below, not only will I have a link to both my contact page and my coaching page, I also have a link to some recommended reading, some great books that will help you further understand how attraction works with women and maintaining relationships and the dating phase with women. I mean, these are all great books, all which I have read and all which I highly recommend. But I will also have a link to PayPal if you deem this video worthy of a donation. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.